It's Friday, May 2nd. I just wanted to make a quick update video. This is the ETF Inspector. Um, Yesterday evening I made a video for ULTY with the update at the end of the day after close, and at 5:30 there was no trades on the intraday trade for ULTY, so I went ahead and put the video out. Lesson learned. Later on at night I went back and double checked it, and there actually were trades. Another lesson learned: I tried to let the video upload while I left to take my daughters to practice, and when I came home the computer had gone to sleep and the upload stopped, so that's why the video came out a little later. So I put together all the information last night, but I wasn't going to take the time to make a video. So I'm trying to make a pretty quick one, just updating you on the trades that were made on Thursday for ULTY, and then I'll make another video this evening on today's actions that were taken. So, and it's happy Friday, happy payday, right? We get the weekly distribution on Friday. Now, if we go to YieldMax's page, they still haven't even updated the distribution. Hopefully we're going to get a payday today. If you look over at Market Chameleon, I don't know how much we can count on this, but they do show, X date on the 29th, pay date on the 30th. That doesn't even make sense. Then down here we show pay date on the 2nd, but either way they show an amount of a little over 9 cents, 0.936. So hopefully that's what we're getting, but we will find out when we see our activity in our accounts today. All right. So just real quick, I did not update the holdings yet. I'm going to just do that at the end of today. So we talked about that in the first video for ULTY. So the trades that were made yesterday on May 1st, they had trades for MSTR, Coin, Nvidia, Robinhood, ASTS, and HIMS. So if you'll remember from yesterday's video, the overall values at the close for the stocks that they hold increased by $3.6 million total for all their holdings, just for the actual stocks they own. But the trades they made yesterday, and I'll go into them in just a minute, totaled a loss of $1.1 million. So this was buying to close their weeklies and buying to open new puts, and then also selling to close the puts from the previous week and selling to open new calls moving forward, right? So on the day they lost money. Now we don't have the backwards information to know how much they sold those calls for originally, to see. Obviously that one's a loss. I'm sure they didn't make $14 a share selling those calls, so they had to buy them at a loss because MSTR really took off this week. Sorry. So they updated their weeklies. They closed the ones ending today and opened the ones for next week. That's what most of these are. Same thing with Coin. So these are the strike prices, and in my later holdings video, I'll just have all the new holdings that show how far out of the money or in the money their positions are. All right, so it looks like they had a bad day as far as MSTR is concerned. Coin looks like they did all right. They bought the close their May 2nd call for 37 cents. I'm sure they sold it for more than that, so that'll end up being a win. And they sold out next week's, bringing in 110,000, and then buying that put cost them 25,000. And it's important to remember, right, that these puts that they buy, they'll end up selling to close at the end, so they'll make a little bit of money of that back. And then when they sell to open these calls, the hope is that they will expire worthless and they'll get to keep all that value and not have to spend a whole lot buying to close it. See, like if it worked this way for the last one, if they had sold last week's for 110,000 and then bought it back for 8,000, that's a nice win. But all right, so Nvidia was the next one that they closed out and moved to next Friday. Didn't really get anything. Selling to close those puts, buying to close the calls, $4.99. That's kind of pricey. Again, not sure if they ended up making money. Probably made a little bit of money, but not much on that. And then moving forward, so if they did the same last week, then they definitely lost money on that trade. So overall, they're losing money there. On Robinhood, again, pushed it out the next week, closing things out. Bought to close the calls for 8 cents, so that's definitely a win. I'm sure they didn't sell a weekly call for 8 cents, so doing well there. Sold the next one, bringing in 200,000 plus and spending about 50. This one was a little bit different. The ASTS, they had to roll these a little further out, so they closed out the ones ending today. And it looks like they did well, right? If they're buying to close for 3 cents, 2,250 contracts. So they're doing well on those. But they picked May 16th as their new date. They kept the same strike for the calls that they're selling, and they actually dropped the put by $1. So doing well there, but now there's going to be a couple weeks of not really much activity on ASTS. And then finally, Hims and Hers, right? They closed out next Friday's trades. Looks like I marked this wrong. Buy to open put. I don't know why I would have these backwards, but these are the way they listed. I'll double check, but it just almost looks like they have they have the openings in front of the closings as opposed to the way they normally do. Nope, I don't have that file up. All right, so they went out to $40 and closed the $31. That one cost them a lot of money. $1.3 million to close that. So this is where most of the loss came out of everything overall. So we'll see if that strategy worked out. All right. ULTY closed yesterday at $5.86, and in the pre-market, it's up a few cents, 6 cents. So it'll be nice if we collect 9 cents plus move up all on the same day. But all right, keeping this one short and sweet. As always, none of this is financial advice. I'm just providing the information, and I will see you guys at the end of the day today. Hope everybody has a great Friday. Thank you. Bye.